Coffee Miller, do you ever answer your phone? I've finished editing the introduction to the Bowman Carson piece you sent me. It's good, but I think we can do better. Alex Dubois has claimed that he wasn't at the facility at the time that they say he set off the explosion. He also says the phone records from the night prove it. Apparently, Detective Holden has them. Anyway, your first meeting is tomorrow. Find out everything you can. The phone records are a good start, but I have a feeling there's a bigger story here. Anyway, get some sleep and I'll be in touch tomorrow. Harvey, your first meeting is with Carla Berman. Get there an hour early so you have time to look around and gather questions for your meeting. Follow any leads you can for the Miller report. Good luck and don't trust anyone.
Hello, Clarice. How's it going, Berlin? Nice.
I am your father. No, it's not true. It's impossible.
Mr. Miller, is it? We weren't expecting you for another 20 minutes. Not a problem at all. Welcome to Bowman Carson. My name's Steve Crow. Apologies for the protesting outside. I hope it wasn't too hard to get through them. If you don't mind, can you place your briefcase down on the conveyor belt there so I can check it for you? Okay, great. I just need to check through it. Sorry about this. Second. Right, this all seems to be in order. Here's your ID badge. If you could just follow me to the security desk. Great.
Oh, there's no other land for me. Damn it, he's got that song stuck in my head.
Ah, Mr. Miller. We didn't expect you so early. Let me just print your agenda. Give me a second. Your first is... speak of the devil. Carla, this is Mr. Miller from the Turing Post. You have a meeting today, I believe.
Yes, of course. A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Miller. Is it that time already?
No. Mr. Miller is just fashionably early.
Good. For a moment I thought I was running behind. I'll be ready in my office for our meeting as scheduled. I have to run, I'm afraid, but we'll speak soon. Thank you, Dan.
Righty-o, Carla. Right, here's your agenda.
Great. Why don't you read that over and put it in your briefcase for safekeeping?
I suppose that's everything from me. If you need anything further, you know where I am.
Okay, so can you please state your name for the recording?
Yes, Scarlett Carson.
Again, thank you for coming in. Hopefully we can clear a few things.
Have you spoken to Charles Berman yet?
No, he's quite hard to pin down, but we will be, I assure you. Is there something I should ask him when I do?
No, I was just curious as to what he may have told you about me.
Is there something you need to tell me?
It doesn't matter. Sorry, you have questions, I'm sure.
Mrs. Carson, please try not to worry. Your words count on their own merits, so just try to be honest and this will go fine.
Okay. Steve Crow's voice demo tape. Right. This is the Muffin monologue from The Importance of Being Honest. Honest. How can you sit there eating muffins when this horrible world is in trouble?
Dan, I think somebody may be around here. I'll let you know.
What are you doing? Mr. Miller, there's a lot of sensitive information in here. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time, but in the future, please, just stay out.
What's up?
Please insert token. The number you have dialed is currently unavailable. Please try later.
Carla, 10 days. 10 bloody days. How the hell could you have kept this from me? I swear to God, my family are going to be deported because of you, and I could have done something about it. Why the hell didn't you tell me? Why the hell didn't you tell me? This is your fault. Everything that happens next is your fault.
Looking sharp, Mr. Miller. Hello.
care about are the events leading up to the night of the attack. Now, I have to ask. You said that your husband and Charles Bowman drafted the act. How was Michael involved in this? Take your time.
As far as I knew, Michael was the one dealing with interviewing the immigrants. He usually did most of that, but apparently the workload was getting bigger, so I guess Bowman's involved.
How is it that you didn't know about it? Didn't your own husband tell you?
It's not exactly big news at the time, anyway. Don't discuss everything in detail.
I'm not ready for our meeting yet, Mr. Miller. Can you come back later?
Harvey, I've been going through more of Alex's interview tapes. I found something quite alarming that seems to have been very quickly dismissed. He says his keycard was stolen earlier on the day of the explosion. He said he tried to log it with Carla Berman. I'm not sure how frequently she leaves her office, but if you can somehow gain access, you may be able to find evidence linking her to Alex's keycard.
I hope you're alright, Mr. Miller.
Floppy disks detected. Everything dated the 10th of the 4th, 1987, the day of the attack, has been boxed and archived and still needs reviewing. The phone records were particularly interesting to me. I've looked through about 20% of all the files I've collated as of yet, and I'm not sure exactly how much more I'm going to find. I'm certain I'm onto something big, but I fear it's going to take me a lot longer than I have to find what I need.
Mr. Miller.
Swag in this. Steve, I'm leaving my desk for 15 minutes now.
All right, Steve.
Mr. Miller, don't forget about that meeting with Carla. You can find something to do in the meantime.
Every actor's gotta start somewhere, I guess.
Hello?
What do people see in this?
Hello, Mr. Miller. How are you doing? You all right, Mr. Miller?
Please enter PIN. Code denied. Please enter PIN. Code accepted. Access granted.
Oh, Mr. Miller, you really
Hey,
shouldn't be
Mr.
in
Miller,
here.
I know you probably don't know anything about this, but something happened in one of the
Mr. Miller,
out-of-bounds
you
areas
really shouldn't
earlier
be in
on.
here.
So if you could just stay in
Mr.
the
Miller,
allocated
seriously,
area,
you need
just
to
for your
leave
safety,
now.
that would be great. Thanks.
Okay, seriously, leave. Okay, great.
Ah, Mr. Miller.
Please enter PIN. Code denied. Please enter PIN.
Man, not again. I hate this new system. What the hell is it now? What is it this time?
Hey, Mr. Miller, something fishy happened in one of the out-of-bounds areas earlier on. I know you probably had nothing to do with it, but for your safety, please make sure you stay in your allocated areas only, okay?
I'm so Scottish. Look at me. I'm amazing.
Shut it, Hag's head.
Enter PIN. Code denied.
Come on, you need to get out of this area, now. Look, man, when are you gonna learn your lesson? Stay out. I mean it.
You alright?
Hiya, Harvey.
Steve, I'm just getting a drink of water. Can you cover me?
Harvey, I just received an anonymous fax. Do you know where the Turing meeting room is? It seems as though Alex Dubois may have hidden some information in there which proves the Bowman-Carson group are intentionally inflating figures based around the Union Act. If you're able to find the evidence, it may help inform the public about what the truth is here. I'm sure Carla Berman may have a thing or two to say about those figures, since she's the one spreading them in her print media. Anyway, let me know what you find.
Hey, alright, how you doing? Hiya.
Doors closing. Doors opening. Doors closing.
Mr. Miller, your meeting is in 10 minutes. Don't be late.
Floppy disk detected.
A number of people could have that information. It wasn't my department, though, I'm afraid. You could try Hans Whitworth, Mark Leonard, Miriam Chapman,
Or perhaps Alex Dubois.
probably.
So, couldn't he have erased that information, assuming that it was erased?
Perhaps. I don't know. Not without someone knowing about it. I think Michael knew something wasn't right. worked when he and Charles were together. As things got busier there, the signs started to show.
What makes you say that?
2 years ago, Michael and I
No
were
floppy
writing our
disks
wills
detected.
together so that our kids would be safe. First happened. Michael decided he wanted to hand over his shares to me. I've never told anyone this. Bowman thinks that he's going to get the controlling share over the company. Obviously he's not. I wonder what people will do for that kind of power.
That is very serious, Scarlett. Are you suggesting that Bowman could have caused this to happen to gain control over the company?
With every ounce of me. I hope not.
But you can't be sure.
Like I said, I have no proof at all.
Well, proof is
No
where
floppy
I-
disks detected.
You all right, Mr. Miller?
Mr. Miller, quick reminder. You have a meeting in 5 minutes.
Security has been alerted and is on its way.
Hello, Mr. Miller. Please, come in and take a seat. So, I gather you've got some questions you'd like to ask me. I'll do my best to answer them. Shall we begin? He thinks I'm lying. That's not really news, Mr. Miller. I think anyone in the country could have told you what Alex thinks about what we do here. He has a twisted view of things. Out of curiosity, what is it he thinks is so bad about the act? Well, this is getting far-fetched. And I suppose I'm the one lying to the country. Don't answer that. I'm sorry, but I have to deal with this kind of accusation day in and day out. I guess it's an occupational necessity. No, and I don't suppose you will. The Union Act is a force for good, Mr. Miller, a force for peace and also ownership of our country. Is it going to please everybody? No, but in all honesty, what could? The protesters out there are chasing an impossible dream and they're lining up in droves to blame everyone else for its shortcomings. But let me ask you this. You've been here all morning. Do you think we're the bad guys? Exactly. And I can't think of anything that would. Listening to Alex talk must have been convincing, I'm sure, but when you're confronted with the overwhelming evidence here at the facility, well, I'm just glad you get to see things firsthand. Look, when you're dealing with a group, you have to represent them as a whole. There may be some shining examples of success out there, but it would be a lie for us to misrepresent all the ones causing the bigger problems. I shouldn't have asked you. It was unfair. You clearly don't understand the inner workings of what we do here. And that's admirable. I understand you have a job to do. Just make sure it doesn't interfere with ours, and I'm sure you'll do just fine. Is that what he said? That his keycard was stolen? Well, I don't think there's any way I could confirm or deny that for you, Mr. Miller. I'm not even sure what that would have to do with me. I don't believe it was stolen, so it would be futile for me to try and answer that. We were all responsible for our own key cards and security logins. Actual keys aren't used in this part of the building. It's all very cutting edge, so anything like that would have been solely down to Alex. That just seems like conjecture to me, Mr. Miller. It sounds far too convenient to say that he logged it as stolen on the day that it happened. If that's true, then where did he log it? At what time? Wouldn't security know about that? I'm sorry, but it's all a little too convenient for me. I don't remember that at all, I can assure you. That email must have gone through to my inbox just after I had the chance to see it. I believe that your research is accurate, I honestly do, but there's no way of knowing now if it was filed. Honestly, it's escaped my memory, and all of the records were destroyed in the blast, so... It appears that he might be, at least about that, but I ask you, what does that really prove? Or that he was clever enough to cover his tracks before he committed a terrible act of terrorism. You may find this a hot topic for your book, Mr. Miller, but I'm not convinced at all. I would be careful who you share this information with, Mr. Miller.
He says he wasn't in the building. Well, I don't know how he'd be able to back up that claim. The police found him not too far away from here, that's true, but it was within walking distance. He could have easily got where he did in time, and there's a whole bunch of other evidence. I'm sorry, I just don't see how he thinks that's going to hold any weight. Like who? No, I don't think so. I think it's quite cut and dry. I can't imagine someone else over in the Meta Centre doing it. They like to sound like they know what they're doing, but most of them are incompetent. I know for a fact that some of them use their room number for their alarm code, for God's sake. Does that sound convincing to you? Alex was the only one who really knew what he was doing, and anyway, it's like I said, there was more evidence, wasn't there? Well, for example, the argument we had the night of the attack. Alex and I were having a heated discussion that night. I know that's somewhat anecdotal, but to me it's as good as gold in terms of evidence. Wouldn't you agree? Well, that's that then. If Alex was telling the truth, then wouldn't it be obvious? You see, that's the problem, isn't it? I understand that we need to take everyone's story into account, but there's an inherent risk with listening to the story of a desperate man. He'll say anything to try and escape justice, and people like you are duty-bound to listen to him. I don't know what I'd do if I spoke to him again. I don't think I'd be able to keep my cool. It must be an awkward position you're in, having to research such a terrible person. But you must have an opinion on the matter. His actions sparked the debate over the Union Act, defined our jobs. You may not be picking sides, but you must have an opinion. Well, you're in a privileged position being able to disconnect yourself from it all. I wish all the employees here were so lucky. Let's carry on, shall we? A vendetta against him? Well, that was blunt, but honestly, I'm not surprised. I wondered if you'd bring this up. It's rather troubling, but Alex and I never seemed to get on. And on the night of the attack, he threatened me. I didn't want to make this publicly personal, but it looks like he has anyway. Yes, he left me a voice message. He was very angry about something, and he took it out on me that night. I have no doubts in my mind that man is guilty of everything they say he did. And I'm frankly amazed that anyone would stand up for him. No offence. Well, you have done your research. I feel bad for what happened to Alex, I really do, but I can't be held responsible for every little action taken. It may have sounded like Alex was the victim, but I can assure you, I felt very threatened by his message. You heard what he said. Everything that happens next is because of me, and we all know what happened next. Well, you don't sugarcoat your words, Mr. Miller. But tell me, what do you think about it? No, I suppose it doesn't. But I'm not here to defend my actions, Mr. Miller. Anyway, you heard the tape. I think it speaks for itself. Well, I don't envy you your job. Shall we move on? Did I? A few things around here probably still use keys. It's outdated if you ask me. You won't find anything in the facility that uses them, though. Our security protocol won't allow them. But I think the older areas still have the old-fashioned key and lock. No? Marlon Thornton, the cleaner, he's the only person who uses them for stock rooms and locker rooms, you know. Oh, that reminds me. If you're over at the Meta Centre later, you should take a look at the old Victorian baths. They're going to be knocked down soon, so you should take a look there before you go. No? They're just quite nice. I tell you what, I'll ask Marlon to open them up for you later on. If he's got time, then they'll be open for you when you go and have your meeting with Chance Crow. Anyway, Excuse me, what? I didn't say anything about an alarm code. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I must have misspoken. Everyone in the Meta Centre is very careful with their security. I wouldn't... well, let's not dwell on that. No, it was another office. Can we please move on to a different subject, Mr. Miller? Don't you have something about my work that you'd like to ask at all? Well, you've been here about an hour. It was only a matter of time. I take it was addressed to us and not you. More often than I'd like to admit, yes. It's bad enough that we can't even walk in the front door of our workplace without having objects hurled at us, but it's... But the people protesting are completely ignorant to what we actually do here. Sometimes I just want to roll my window up and shout down to them to get a job and start contributing to the country instead of ruining it. I'm sorry. Okay, Mr. Miller, that's all I've got time for, I'm afraid. Can you please see yourself out?
Hi, I'm home.
Because we don't want our hands tied by the law every time we have to make a decision. No one's tired. But we won't be long. Just remember one. The world is changing around us. I agree. I have no idea why you're still wearing the same clothes you were wearing in the 70s. I'm not going to change your mind on this, am I?
Molly, you'd better be in bed when I get up there.
Coop, will you talk some sense into your husband, please?
Well, I'm staying out of this one.
Right, on that note, I'll see myself out.
You and Carol still here for Sunday dinner?
Don't forget to pass that folder on to Sarah in the morning, okay?
Wouldn't miss it.